share. Yeah. Salawat.
Brothers and sisters, those of you who have parked in the next door temple at the Gurdwara, the temple, they close at 8. So if you have a car parked there, you will not be able to get in there if you go after 8. So you'll have to stay there till tomorrow morning. So please make sure those of you or who know somebody who has parked their car in the Gurdwara need to take it out. And you probably have more room here to do that now. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا علي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور، وهو شهر الذي فرضت صيامه عليه، وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان، وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من 1000 شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك، من علي بفكاك رقبتي من النار، في من تمن علي وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ادخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكسو كل عريان. اللهم اقضي دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشفي كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر، إنك على كل شيء قدير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك، وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدهتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأقل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وأثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وهلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت عدوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك، فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لعيم منك عليه. يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي وأتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك، فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك، فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله ولا شبيه يشاكله ولا ظهير يعادده، قهر بعزته الأعزة وتواضع لعظمته العظمى فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي، فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يخلق بابه ولا يرد السائل ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويدع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على عهد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الحادي المهدي هججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له أبدله من بعد خوفه أن يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له منك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم ظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فهملنا، وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وعزز به ذلتنا، واغني به عائلنا، واقض به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا غير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشفي به صدورنا، وأذهب به قيد قلوبنا، وأهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وأنصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق. آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله، وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله، وبضر تكشفه، ونصر تعزه، وسلطان حق تظهره، ورحمة منك تجللناها، وعافية منك تلبسناها، برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم برحمتك في الصالحين فأدخلنا، وفي عليين فارفعنا، وبكأس من معين من عين سلسبيل فاسقنا، ومن الحور العين برحمتك فزوجنا، ومن الولدان المخلدين كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون فأخدمنا، ومن ثمار الجنة ولحوم الطير فأطعمنا، ومن ثياب السندس والحرير والاستبرق فألبسنا، وليلة القدر، وحج بيتك الحرام، وقتلا في سبيلك فوفق لنا، وصالح الدعاء والمسألة فاستجب لنا، وإذا جمعت الأولين والآخرين يوم القيامة فارحمنا، وبراءة من النار فاكتب لنا، وفي جهنم فلا تغلنا، وفي عذابك وهوانك فلا تبتلنا، ومن الزقوم والضر فلا تطعمنا، ومع الشياطين فلا تجعلنا، وفي النار على وجوهنا فلا تكببنا، ومن ثياب النار وسرابيل القطران فلا تلبسنا، ومن كل سوء يا لا إله إلا أنت، بحق لا إله إلا أنت فنجنا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إني أسألك أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر من الأمر المحتوم في الأمر الحكيم، من القضاء الذي لا يرد ولا يبدل، أن تكتبني من حجاج بيتك الحرام المبرور حجهم، المشكور سعيهم، المغفور ذنوبهم، المكفر عنهم سيئاتهم، أن تجعل فيما تقضي وتقدر أن تطيل عمري في خير وعافية وتوسع في رزقي وتجعلني ممن تنتصر به لدينك ولا تستبدل بي غيري. أعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عني شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر بالليلة هذه ولك قبلي تبعة أو ذنب تعذبني عليه. الفاتحة.
Okay. AV team, could you put the sponsor slide on, please? Thank you. Still looking for it. Okay. Wa Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad salawat. Today's program is sponsored by Bande Khuda for the Isal Swab of all Marhumin in the donor's family and all Marhumin. Kindly recite Surah Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's a short announcement on behalf of the Madrasa for grade 10 students for building the wells in Africa. From the girls' side is Iman Devji and Alina Pardhan. And from the men's or boys' side is Mahir Sharif and Hadi Datu, I'm sorry. Can you please, boys, come forward and, where are they? Are they here? Let's go, Hadi. Okay. I'm not sure who's going to speak first, so I'll leave it with you guys. Can you have the slide for that? There you go.
My dear scholars, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. In the glorious Quran, Allah has said, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, which means, and we made everything from water. This verse highlights the necessity and importance of water when it comes to living beings like us. We are reminded of this great importance, especially during this holy month while we observe the act of fasting. We are reminded of how incredibly blessed we are to have access to the water that we break our fasts with. We are also reminded to be grateful and thankful for such blessings, as there are so many around the world who do not have access to them.
One example is a rural village in Nakuru, Kenya. They don't have access to any clean water and are forced to carry out their daily tasks with dirty water from a far river. This leads to the spread of diseases like cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, and other lethal diseases.
The grade 10 madrasa class is working together to make a difference in the lives of this community by raising funds to build wells for them, ensuring that our brothers and sisters have the resources they need. Our class has carried out fundraisers in the past for villages in similar situations, and alhamdulillah, with your support, we've been able to build wells and hence give them access to clean water.
We need your help once again for this village. You can help donate by buying from our bake sales after madrasa, and you can also contribute by donating at the treasurer's desk and online to SMCBC. If you choose to donate this way, please specifically mention that you are donating for the Grade 10 Madrasa Well project. Every contribution counts. Join us in making a meaningful impact for those in need. Thank you.
Salawat.
Okay, now comes to my favorite part of the announcements is the junior speaker for tonight. Tonight's junior speaker is Suraya Zahra Ladak, daughter of Abbas Ladak and Parvez Ladak. Suraya attends the Az-Zahraa Academy upstairs. Her topic for tonight is benefits of fasting. Suraya is only 8 years old. Let us all listen very attentively and silently what Suraya has prepared for us.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saraya, and today I want to talk about why fasting during Ramadan is good for us. First, it is good for our bodies. When we fast, our bodies get a break from eating all the time. This helps clean out bad stuff and make us feel healthier. We might even have more energy and feel stronger. Second, it's good for our minds. Fasting teaches us to be patient and strong. When we control our hunger and focus better, it also helps us think more clearly and feel less stressed. Finally, it's good for our souls. Ramadan is a special time to pray and think about Allah. Fasting makes us grateful for what we have and help us feel closer to our family and friends. We also learn to care more about people who don't have enough food. Fasting during Ramadan helps our bodies, minds, and souls. It makes us healthier, stronger, and more thankful. Thank you and salawat.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you, Suraya. This has been ongoing events as far as the junior speakers are concerned. The youths have revived this event. Thank you to all the parents, teachers, youths, their volunteers, and the helpers for making this happen. Thank you. Another loud salawat for Suraya, please. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start the lecture soon, but I have a message for the moms and dads here. It is very important that we keep all our children with us at all times when you are in any part of the center. Regrettably, none of us are volunteers who are trained childcare experts. Shaykh Nabil is very particular about it and needs all of you to focus on what he has prepared for us to listen to. Sometimes it takes him hours and hours of research and reading to talk to us for only that 30 to 40 minutes of our time. Let us all, as brothers and sisters, as a community, be respectful of each other and specifically to our visiting alim, and not let our children disturb any of us or the alim. With that said, please let us all rise, move forward, and welcome our esteemed scholar, Shaykh Nabil Awan, with the loudest of your 3 salawats.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد. وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الهداة المهديين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ملعونين. Amma ba'd, for the happiness of Hazrat Az-Zahraa Marziyah, for the enlightenment of the graves of the Marhameen, of the graves of the Shuhada, Ulama and Siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahlul Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam Arwahun al-Fida, please recite your loudest salawat. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is Rahman and the one who is Rahim. Just a little add-on from Mukhi Saab's point. The children, if they're under 8, it's not so much of an issue. Can't expect them. It's the adults. The announcement should be for adults that talk. That's more distracting than children. Children are children. It's going to happen. But by the time you're about 8, I think, sometimes one has to develop something. Sometimes we think when we're behind a wall, generally after about 3 years, a bit less there, or after first few months, the idea of object permanence develops in the mind of a child. So even the child knows, if I'm behind something or something disappears behind something, it doesn't disappear. But sometimes, as adults, we think, if I'm talking behind the wall somewhere, maybe he won't hear me. No, trust me, you can hear everything from up here. It's more so, it's an adult's thing. Children, obviously, are going to be children anyway. But one would expect those that, at least mumayyiz, that they understand this point. So our discussions have been centered around trying to prepare the perfect ground to be able to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to truly supplicate in its truest sense. And there is a collective responsibility that we have. And we'll talk more in depth about the collective in one of the later lectures coming up. There is a collective responsibility that we have on the journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it goes back to connecting with this announcement as well as other things. The idea of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. It has become something that is not part and parcel of our repertoire anymore. Because we're like, oh, it's not my problem. Oh, it's not going to, or, someone tries to correct me, and we're like, who do you think you are to tell me? Rather than being humble about receiving that advice. And so we are all on this journey together to help one another progress. And that should be the intention behind it. That I'm informing or I'm correcting someone not out of arrogance, but out of love, in the desire that I want to see them progress as well. And so in that spirit, those of you that are not in i'tikaf, I was trying to explain to the brothers and sisters in i'tikaf that, to reduce the amount they speak. No contact with the outside world, even through mobiles. All of this will invalidate the i'tikaf. And then they can speak amongst themselves in here. But those of us that come from outside, it is our responsibility to make sure that they maintain their spirituality, not bring them news of the outside, not come in, start laughing and joking, trying to have more and more conversation with them. Aid them on this noble cause. Because i'tikaf is not easy. It is 3 days of absolute dedication towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why the reward of it is huge. Whosoever successfully completes an i'tikaf, it is one of the times that the narration says, it is as if he has been reborn, as if he has just been born again. All of his sins wiped clean, having completed the i'tikaf. So when we talk about collective responsibility, we also have a collective responsibility in that sense, that if we come in, we talk, but we try and keep our talk with them very minimal, so that they can maintain their spiritual state throughout the whole of their stay within the masjid. And then anything that you really need to tell them, or parents need to update their children about, just wait until they finish from the i'tikaf, one more day, and then you can fill them in. So there's this collective responsibility that is very important, that we as a community must foster within one another. We as a community must try and develop within each other. Al-mu'minu mira'atil mu'min. The mu'min is the mirror of the other mu'min. The mu'min will show another mu'min those flaws the same way that a mirror shows. But the thing is that the mirror, when showing the flaws, doesn't run off and tell the other mirrors about what it's seen. It allows you to correct the flaws, and then it forgets about it as well. Al-mu'min mira'atil mu'min. The mu'min is the mirror of the mu'min. Aid one another on this journey. Don't kick the one that is below you. It says when you begin to ascend spiritually, then don't look down upon those that are not at that level. Rather grab them by the hand and bring them up. What we tend to do is kick the person when they're down. Or when they're lower down, oh, you're not as spiritual as me. Yeah, well, that's what you get for being a kafir. And then we just kick them while they're down. Rather than helping and raising a person up. So, when it comes to dua, one of the main complaints that we have is that why is it that my dua is not answered? What's the reason that I keep asking and asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He doesn't answer my dua? Now there are a number of reasons, but the first caveat that you need to understand in this discussion is that every dua is heard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single dua is heard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single dua is answered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it may just not be in the way that you wanted it to be answered. Because me, in my infinite wisdom, I use that term loosely, but in my infinite wisdom, I think I know what is best for me. So I will raise my hands and say, Ya Allah, give me $1 million. I know this will make my life very good. It will make me happy, and I will worship you lots. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies to the dua. And it will be, no, maybe you should have this. And I'm like, why is God not replying to me? I'm constantly asking Him. He's constantly not replying. No, there is always a reply. There's always a reply. Even if that reply is, no, you're not worthy of it. But everything is heard by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But regardless of whether or not you receive what you wanted, there is always a spiritual benefit to you when you do dua. And so this is why Allah tells Musa alayhi salam, Musa, pray to me even for the salt in your food. Pray to me even for the laces in your shoes. For something as trivial as that, pray to me for it. Because the very aspect, the very nature of dua is such that it is not about getting what you want. It is about getting closer to the divine grace. It is about increasing your capacity to receive the divine grace. It is about creating the capacity within yourself to understand that sometimes what you want is not what you need. And Allah is Alim, Allah is Hakim, Allah is Halim. He knows, He is wise, He cares for you more than your mother could ever care. Combine 100 mothers together, He cares more for you. So He knows that He will never do wrong by His servant. But to give him what he wants right now will not be in his benefit. It's like when a child wants to hold a knife, a young toddler wants to say, I want to hold a knife. And parents will be like, no, don't be silly. Most normal parents will be like, no, don't be silly. And the child will be like, no, I want to hold it. He will cry, he'll weep. Parents will be like, I'm not giving you the knife. Because it's dangerous. We see the danger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the things that we are crying for, we're weeping for, we're asking for, He sees the danger in it to us. And so He doesn't give it to us. And there are a number of reasons why. The first is that sometimes that particular thing is not good for you at that moment. Not right now. You will receive it, but not right now. You have to be ready. You don't have the capacity. If I was to give you $1 million now, you would just probably go out and blow it on, I don't know, random things. And you wouldn't have any left or nothing to show for it. And so this is very important when you do dua for something, for an increase of something. Always ask Allah to increase your capacity to bear it as well. Always do the dua, Rabbi shrah li sadri. Because this idea of sharh sadr, the idea of increasing your capacity, is extremely important. Allah addresses the Holy Prophet, says, O Prophet, alam nashrah laka sadrak. Did we not expand your chest? When Allah says to Musa alayhi salam, Musa, go to Fir'aun, for he has become a deviant, he has transgressed. Go and bring him to the truth. But then Allah says to him, but Musa, remember one thing, when you speak to him layyina. Speak to him nicely. Musa alayhi salam says, Ya Allah, this is a tall task. 1, I've killed one of his people. 2, he's a mutakabbir, he's an arrogant individual. 3, he's a tyrant. 4, he's an oppressor of my people. And he is going against you. He is claiming to be God. And then on top of that, Allah is saying, be nice to him. So what does Musa alayhi salam say? Rabbi shrah li sadri. I'm willing, I'll go, but expand my chest. Give me that sharh sadr, so that I can still be benevolent, so I can still manifest your rahmah, your mercy, and try and guide him. And that's what it requires, sharh sadr. Sometimes when we don't get what we want, it's about increasing the capacity and understanding that what you want is not what you need. And so sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delays it for another time. The second reason why you don't get what you want when you ask for it is that sometimes it's not good for you, period. You want it, but it's definitely not good for you. And so Allah holds it back. Tha'laba Ansari was one of the close companions of the Holy Prophet. He was from the Ashab al-Sufha, the individuals who were staying inside the masjid. They were so poor, they didn't have anything. There was just in there, and he was destitute. He comes to the Holy Prophet one day, he says, Ya Rasulullah, please pray for me, Allah makes me rich. The Holy Prophet says to him, Tha'laba, listen, it's not, maybe there is a maslahat in it, leave it. It's fine the way you are. He goes away. Again, some months later, he turns up, Ya Rasulullah, please, my situation is so bad. Please, pray to Allah. Why won't you pray to Allah? Tell him to make me rich. The Holy Prophet says, Tha'laba, you're fine like this. You're near us. You're close to us. You're coming to the masjid. We see you. It's fine. Be patient. Again, he goes away. Third time, after some time, he comes again to the Prophet. Ya Rasulullah, I can't live like this anymore. Please pray for me. I beg you, pray for me. And I promise that I will give my wealth in the way of Allah and help those that are poor as well. And so in Surah Tawbah, the story of Tha'laba is there. That there are those who come and they promise that if we were to make them rich, they would give their wealth, some of their wealth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Holy Prophet says, Tha'laba, it's not for you. But if you want, I will pray. He says, yes, Ya Rasulullah, I promise. The Holy Prophet raises his hands and says, Ya Allah, make Tha'laba rich. Give him wealth. Some days later, Tha'laba's wealthy cousin dies. And he has no inheritors. As they make their way down, the main inheritor of everything is Tha'laba. He inherits a fortune. Straight away, he takes that money and he buys himself a sheep farm. And he begins his business. It starts growing rapidly. It's the dua of the Prophet, Barakah. Says it starts growing rapidly. He says, I need to move out of Medina. I've seen a ranch outside of Medina. It's a nicer area. There's more space. I'll still come to the masjid, don't worry. Sometimes we say the same thing, right? I'm regular at the masjid. It's okay if I move away. Don't worry, I'll still come. I got the car, I can make it. I'll be there. I come every day now, but I can do it. So Tha'laba says the same thing. Says, I'll make it back. So he goes outside of Medina, he buys a nice big house, farmland, everything. He sets up his business. And now business becomes tough. And making it to the masjid and traffic and God knows what else. And he says, okay. Where he was going every single day for Salat al-Jama'ah, now he's only going once, twice. Soon that only becomes one Salat al-Jum'ah a week. Soon his business is grown so much that even coming to that Salat al-Jama'ah and Salat al-Jum'ah is now, he can't make it. Some months later, the ayah of zakat comes down. The Holy Prophet says, he sends his messengers, he says, go to Tha'laba Ansari and tell him that now he must pay tax on the wealth that he has earned and to pay his contribution to the government. So the emissaries of the Prophet go to the ranch of Tha'laba and they say to him, Tha'laba, the Holy Prophet has said you need to pay zakat. There is a tax that you must pay on the earnings that you have earned. Tha'laba says, what? Do you think I'm a Christian or a Jew that you're making me pay the dhimmi tax? I did all of this. Who does the Prophet think he is? I put my hard work and my hard effort into building this business and earning this money. And now you want me to come and pay a tax? Says, get out of it. I'm not paying anything. They come back to the Holy Prophet and say, Ya Rasulullah, Tha'laba refuses to pay. The Holy Prophet says, Tha'laba, I knew this wasn't for you. This wealth has corrupted him. Straight after that, Tha'laba pours all his money into Masjid Zarar, the masjid that was built in opposition. The Prophet then comes, defeats them, destroys the masjid. Tha'laba Ansari, destitute, dies, no iman in his heart. Where was he first? Regular in the masjid, over and over. Sometimes something is not for us. But I keep asking and asking and asking, and then God says, okay, I'll test you with it. This is the opening lines of Dua Abu Hamza Thumali. إلهي لا تؤدبني بعقوبتك ولا تمكر بي في حيلتك. Says, my Lord, don't discipline me through your punishment, nor subject me to your plot. See, this plot of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very intricate. Say, makru wa makar Allah. They plot, they plan, Allah plans. The plot of Allah, it says, is so silent. It is like an ant crawling on a dark rock in the middle of the night. You can't see it, you can't hear it. It creeps into your life. I said to myself, no, it's okay. You know, I'm praying for the raise, and I'm not getting it. But then I keep doing it, and eventually I get it. And I say, look, it's not going to affect my masjid attendance. It's not going to affect my life. I'm still going to be there. I get the promotion. And now what's happening is that I'm staying late for work and unable to attend the masjid. First I drop Thursday night. Then I drop Salatul Jum'ah. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know, they're going to give me more and more and more. And now my wajibat start slipping away. And then maybe it's okay, I'll just go to the gathering of alcohol. It's for the next promotion. And then before I know it, وَلَا تَمْكُرْ بِي فِي حِيلَتِكَ. When something is not for you, don't chase it. How do I know it's not for me? Who knows? But all you have to do is place your trust in the Lord that you believe to be knowledgeable, your Lord to be that is wise, that will never ever do anything wrong by you, that Lord that will only do good by you, and say, my Lord, if you do not wish me to have it now or ever, I'm happy with it. But if you wish me to have it, then give me the capacity to bear it as well. Allow me to also have the capacity. The third reason why we don't get it is sometimes God knows if He gives it to you, you may not come back, or that He enjoys your voice praying at His door. He enjoys that ubudiyah, not because He is in some way sadistic, that He wants to see you cry and weep. No, because through that crying and you're begging and you're weeping and you're doing dua, you're raising yourself spiritually. It's increasing your capacity. Ayatollah Amini, the writer of Al-Ghadir, he says that I had a problem in my times of being a student. I had some issue. And so I would go to Amir al-Mu'mineen every day and ask for a solution. Ya Ali, give me a solution. It was really bothering me. It was so difficult. I would do the ziyarah, mu'addab, ask Amir al-Mu'mineen. Says one day I went to the ziyarah and I stood in front of Amir al-Mu'mineen and, you know, I was praying, saying, Ya Ali, please help me through this. And then I stood there for a while. Says at that moment, one of the Bedouin desert dwelling individuals, he comes in and he has a disabled son. He walks in and he throws him on next to the dhari and says, Ya Abul Ghawth, says, my son is ill. Give him shafa'ah. Like this. Without any adab. Without any sort of build up, anything nice. Just give him shafa'ah. All of a sudden the child begins to walk. Takes his salary. I tell her, Amini, seeing this scene, he says, I didn't say anything, but in my heart, I thought I've been coming with so much adab, with so much in front of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and I've not received. And this Bedouin comes in, and with disrespect he asks, and he's given. Says, broken-hearted, I walked away from the haram of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Says, I went to sleep that night, and I saw Amir al-Mu'mineen in my dream. And there, Amir al-Mu'mineen said to me, Amini, says, why are you so upset? You're one of our own. He was someone from outside, not one of our own. So we gave it to him so that he would leave. But we enjoy it when you come. You're one of our own. Have you seen the volunteers that serve you niyaz? They all serve you niyaz, and then whatever's left, they'll eat that food afterwards. And you tell them, why don't you eat first? They're like, no, I'll eat. It's fine, let me just serve everyone else. Because, it's our house type of thing. It's fine, let us serve the guests first. It says that sometimes God enjoys your coming, your pleading, your crying at his door. Why? Because he's going to delay it and increase your capacity and give you more than you had ever imagined, in a way that you could never even imagine. But the fourth thing that may stop our du'as from transpiring, from becoming a reality, is our sins. The things that form a barrier, though the du'a is heard, the reply cannot come due to a barrier that I have created for myself. Allahumma ghfir li adh-dhunub allati tahbisu ad-du'a. Forgive those sins of mine that stop my du'a from reaching its fruition, from reaching its completion. The fourth Imam has a narration where he speaks to his companion Abu Khalid al-Kabuli. He says to him, Abu Khalid, الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء, those sins that stop the dua of a person from reaching its completion are 7. The first, su'un niyyah. What stops your dua from being accepted? Having a bad intention behind that dua. Ya Allah, give me wealth so I can show the rest of these people what it means, so that I too can be rich and teach them a lesson. Or, oh Allah, when the part of dua come in, where we're saying, oh Allah, the one that has ill intent towards me, bring that ill intent towards him. In my mind, like if I'm thinking of a mu'min, this is a problem. It's problematic. Su'un niyyah, when I have a bad niyyah, praying against a mu'min, praying for evil upon a mu'min, it will stop that dua. It won't reach fruition. وَخُبْثُ الصَّرِيرَ, internal najasat, sin, just general junk that is lying around my soul, filth. I'm just a terrible person. In terms of my personality, I'm horrid. And so nobody wants to be around me, nobody wants to talk to me. I'm short-tempered, I'm rude, I'm arrogant. So much filth is there. I've never deep dived to try and pull these things out. See, sometimes during the holy month of Ramadan, what happens is all of this filth, imagine it like a pool. Allama Tabata'i, he gives the example. He says, imagine it like a pool that is filled with filth. And then all of a sudden, you don't touch that pool for a while. What happens? All of the debris sinks to the bottom. And on the zahir, on the outward, it looks as if the water is absolutely crystal clear. In the holy month of Ramadan, through my fasting, it's such that I think that all of a sudden I become pure. my sins have been forgiven. I've changed. I'm better. Look, I'm praying on time. I'm doing all of this. But then Alama says, the moment someone throws a stone in the pool, all of that gunk comes back up again. And so I think that I'm pure, I'm controlling my patience and everything like that. But then all of a sudden it just takes that one person that knows how to really wind me up. And that person comes and says one thing, and all of a sudden all of that junk comes back up. Because I never worked on actually rooting it out. I never worked on deep diving inside myself, meditating, contemplating, seeing why is it that I have it there, and trying to pull it out, trying to stop it from ever coming back to the surface, removing it from myself, getting rid of anger, except the anger for the sake of Allah. Getting rid of all of that filth that lies in my soul. I need to ponder over it. So internal najasat. For some, that internal najasat also becomes external. Sometimes the sins that we commit manifest as a strong smell from the body. Sometimes just a spiritual smell, but in worse cases, as a physical smell from the body. They're the type of people, no matter how much they shower, they still stink. Whatever they do, they can wear as much perfume as they want, they always stink. On the opposite side, the more ibadat you do, the more sweet smelling you become. For example, two of the effects of Salatul Layl are this, that the one that is regular with their Salatul Layl, bad body odor doesn't come from their body. And they stop having bad breath. You know, there's certain people with like death breath. No matter what they do, brush their teeth, or whatever, you've got to like try and avoid it because it might melt off your face. But the one that recites Salatul Layl regularly does not have bad breath, does not have bad body odor. So in the same way, sins can also manifest smell from the body, depending on how much. And then the more and more we go, then it begins to show on people's faces, and then there are many, many other manifestations of it. That you can see a person and know the sins that they have fallen prey to because of the spiritual change around them, the physical change within them. Happens, you habitually do something over and over, it will alter you. Not just at a physical level, not just at a neurological level, but also at a metaphysical, spiritual level. So the dirt within, the third thing that stops dua from reaching its completion, from being answered as it were, وَالنِّفَاقُ مَعِ الْإِخْوَانِ, being a hypocrite with other mu'mineen. On the face, MashaAllah, how are you? It's amazing to see you. You're such a great guy. Behind his back, this guy, I tell you, don't trust him. Who should I not trust? The munafiq that has just come and met this person in front of me, then behind me is telling me, yeah, he's evil. Says the one that is a munafiq. It's a very bad habit we have. What did I say? Al-mu'minu mira'at al-mu'min. Not that the mu'min is the mirror of the mu'min and then the mirror takes the secrets and then runs to the other mirrors and says, hey, by the way, guess what I heard? No, if there's a problem, tell someone nicely on their face. If you can't forgive it, if you can't let it go. If you can't let go of it, then at least tell them on their face. If you can't tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We carry around so much hate, so much hatred towards other mu'mineen. So much baggage. For what? To what end? Oh, someone looked at me funny, or someone burped at me funny, or someone sneezed or parked in my parking space, and now I'm not going to speak to them. They didn't attend my child's wedding. They didn't, what? To what end? That person will die, you will die, It becomes even worse when that nifaq is with blood relatives. The one that does qata raham, cuts off relations with their family, with their parents, with their blood relatives. There is no salvation. It is eternal damnation. One must maintain blood ties. Oh, he stole this, they looked at me, I'm not talking to my brother, I don't talk to my sister. How petty. For what? For a dunya. A dunya that is dani, a dunya that is lowly, a dunya that was made to expire. It's as if you're trying to fight over sand that is slipping through your fingers. For what end? وَالنِّفَاقِ مَعَ الْإِخْوَانِ, having hypocrisy with your brothers and sisters, equal opportunities. No, it means sisters as well. وَتَرْكُ التَّصْدِيقِ بِالْإِجَابَةِ. The fourth reason that stops your dua from being accepted is that you don't believe it will be answered. We look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like He's another human being. Al-a'yadhu billah. What do I say? I say, Ya Allah, I'm in debt for 40,000, for example. I'm in debt for 40,000. I know it's a tall ask for you, Ya Rabbal Alameen. It's a lot of money, I know. So if you could sort out, I don't know, 15, 20, I know someone who can help me with the remaining 20. That's how I converse with Allah. When I do dua with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how? As if He's just someone, I don't want to inconvenience you. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot. It's qadar mutlaq, this is Rabb al-Alameen. And I want to talk to Allah oh, look at how Imam Sajjad, he says, yesterday I mentioned dua makarim al-akhlaq. وَبَلِّغْ إِيمَانِي أَكْمَلَ الْإِيمَانِ. There's no two ways about it. Make my iman the perfect iman. Bas, that's it. Perfection, that's all I want. وَيَقِينِ أَفْضَلَ الْيَقِينِ. Make my certainty the best of certainties. Why are we not asking for it? Why don't we request it? Why don't we want it? Because I don't believe God will answer it. Why do I always run to other people? I don't know, God never answers my dua. If you could help me. It says, because you don't have yaqeen that Allah will answer, your dua is not answered. The fifth reason that stops the dua from being accepted is delaying your salah until it becomes qada. Delay those people that delay. They're like, oh, you know what, I'll pray after I get home. 10 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Oh, it's qada. Especially for Salat al-Fajr. Happens a lot. It says delaying it. It says, you know the one that delays their salah, that misses their salah. The riwayat, when talking about it, says the life is reduced of that person, the lifespan. Very few people live to the full lifespan that Allah had ordained for them. But due to sin and all of these other things, they reduce their lifespan year by year with each of these sins. It says their lifespan is reduced. They have no barakah in their life. They may be earning 6 figures, but they're still like, I don't know, I can't make ends meet. It's so expensive. A person who has no barakah in their life, they say that I don't know where it goes. But the one that has barakah in their life, they say, I don't know where it comes from. It just comes. Allah helps me. Barakah. When you pray salah, it brings barakah into your life. Praying on time. The one that constantly delays his prayer to the point of qada, says whatever good he does, he won't ever receive its reward. When it reaches the time of death, one of the reasons a person receives fishar qabr, the pressing of the grave, where the two walls of the grave begin to push together and the ribs of the individual begin to crush into one another and the sides of the walls begin to touch. One of the reasons for that is the one that constantly is in the habit of delaying their salah, not praying on time. The sixth reason for why your dua is not accepted. The sixth reason is the one وَتَرْكُ التَّقَرُّبِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, the one that stops himself from getting close to Allah بِالْبِرِّ وَالصَّدَقَةِ, through doing good and giving sadaqah. He just doesn't do good. And so he stops himself from reaching proximity to Allah because he leaves doing good. He used to do something good. I used to give sadaqah regularly, but now, not anymore. I used to attend Salat al-Jama'ah regularly, but now times are difficult. It's the one that leaves a good that he used to do. He leaves it. I used to recite Dua Kumail regularly. I used to recite Dua ul-Iftitah every single night. This year I don't know what it is. I'm just a bit busy, so I'm just leaving it. Inshallah, Allah give me tawfiq. One who leaves doing good, his dua will not be accepted. One that leaves giving sadaqah, his du'as will no longer be answered. And then the seventh point, وَإِسْتِمَالُ الْبَضَاءِ وَالْفُحْشِ فِي الْقَوْلِ. The seventh point, the one whose dua is not answered or does not reach fruition, is the one that uses harsh words or swears regularly in their conversational speech. How is it possible that the tongue that is swearing one moment, then the next moment, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, it has become impure through the swearing, through the harsh words, through the harsh tongue. And now this same tongue now wants to ask for forgiveness. This same tongue now wants to ask. Allah says that tongue that is accustomed to swearing, to cursing others, the dua will not be accepted. The fourth Imam has a companion who's with the Imam the whole time. He was known as like almost the shadow of the Imam. One day he's walking with the Imam and his slave is with him. He turns, he calls his slave doesn't answer. Second time, third time, fourth time. The fourth time he turns towards him and he swears at him. He says, "Oh, son of a woman of ill repute, why aren't you answering me?" The Imam stops and looks at him. So what did you call him? He says, "Imam, he's a Jewish slave. Like, what does it matter? He wasn't listening." Imam says, "No. Were his parents married according to his religion?" He says, "Yes." He says, "So why did you use this word? Why did you swear at him in this way? Why did you curse at him in this way?" Imam turns to him. He says, "For as long as I am alive, do not speak to me again." The Imam pushed him away from him. And that individual never spoke to the Imam until the Imam died. For what? One swear word. One curse word. For me, it's this, throw it in there, throw it in whatever conversation I'm having. And then at the same time, I want to raise my hands and ask for forgiveness. Can't happen. It's about adab in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 7 reasons that the Imam gives. Why? What sins stop you from your dua from reaching? And fundamentally underlying all of this is adab, the etiquettes. And if you want to see the height of adab, then you find it in Karbala and the personality of Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Abbas is the height of adab. never once questioning the Imam. When the Imam says, Abbas, we are leaving Medina, Abbas doesn't say anything. We're leaving Mecca, Abbas doesn't say anything. From one desert town to another desert town, now stopping in Karbala, Abbas doesn't say anything. 7th of Muharram, moved the tents, Abbas. He doesn't say anything. Night of Ashura, Abbas, go ask for one extra night. Why? Inni uhibbu salah, because I love to pray. Abbas, go tell them, let us not war today. This is the general of the army. But the adab and the respect and the loyalty to his Imam, Abbas gives everything for the sake of the Imam. Until the day of Ashura comes, and Abbas knows Abbas was made for this day. Abbas, Ali prayed for this day, for this Abbas, for this particular day. Now Abbas is constantly coming to the Imam. Imam, give me permission to go out and fight. Let me go out and fight. And the Imam is saying the same thing to him. He's saying, Abbas, anta sahibu liwa'i wa anta kabshu katibati. Abbas, you are the flag bearer of my army. You're the commander of my army. My brother, how can I let you go? Oh, then sometimes when he would come, Imam would look at him, say, Ya Abbas binafsi, and Abbas, my brother, may my soul be sacrificed for you. How can I let you go out, Abbas? 35 years old Abbas was on the day of Ashura, coming towards the Imam, asking for permission to go out and fight, until eventually there was no one left. And now the moon of Bani Hashim comes and stands in front of the Imam. And again Imam says to him, Abbas, you're my flag bearer of this army. Abbas, you're my commander. How can I let you go out? Some say that Abbas said something at that point, but my heart says in the Maqatil it does not even mention that Abbas even uttered even at that time a word in front of Abi Abdullah. But the tears that streamed from the eyes of Abbas and the cries of Al-Atash of the children of Sayyid al-Shuhada, Imam said to him, Abbas, if you must go, then let us go and get water for the children. Abbas went, he got the empty bags of water. The daughter of Abu Abdullah gathered all of the children, said, now there will be no more thirst. My uncle Abbas is going to the Furat. My uncle Abbas will bring us water. All the children holding their glasses in anticipation. Zainab watches her moon ride out one last time. Abbas rides out. You hear he went to the banks of the Furat. He fought his way. He stepped down into the banks of the Furat. He places his hands in the water. He lifts the water up. He looks at it. Ya nafs min ba'd al-Husayn huni. Oh nafs, will you drink from this? What pleasure is there left in this world after Abu Abdullah? Will you drink from this water while your master drinks the syrup of death? Abbas throws the water down. He fills his bag of water. He begins to ride back, fighting his way back. They begin to attack Abbas, but he fights them off. One Mal'oon hiding behind a date palm. As Abbas passes, he strikes the right arm of Abbas, the arm severed from his body. Abbas calls out, Wallah, in kata'tumu yamini, inni uhami abadan an dini. Wallah, even if you cut the right arm of Abbas, Abbas won't stop. Again, Abbas goes forward. Another strikes his left arm. The left arm is severed. Abbas addresses himself, Ya nafs la takhsha al-kuffar. Oh nafs, don't be afraid of the kuffar. Focus on your mission. Abbas begins riding. Harmala says, I realized the heart of Abbas lie in the bag of water. I took aim. I shot the arrow. The arrow struck the bag of water. The water began to flow. فَوَقَفَ الْعَبَّاسِ. The water fell. Abbas stopped his horse. Umar ibn Sa'ad ordered 4,000 archers to fire towards Abbas. The sky of Karbala darkened. And the moon of Bani Hashim began to be struck from every angle with arrows. One arrow pierced the eye of Abbas. So Abbas bent down to remove the arrow from his knee with his knees. One Mal'oon, seeing Abbas bent down, he came from behind. He struck the head of Abbas with an iron bar. Abbas, unable to stay upon the horse, he fell to the ground. As he fell, he called out, Ya akha adrik akhak. Oh brother, come to the aid of your brother. When the call of Abbas was heard, 3 cries were heard from the tents of Hussein. The first from the children, oh uncle, come back, we won't ask for water again. The second from the tent of Zainab, this is what my father Ali said. The third from Imam al-Hussein, Alan inkasara dhahri, now Hussein's back has been broken. The fourth cry came from the army of Yazid, attack the tents of Hussein, for Hussein is now gharib. Hussein alayhi salam comes to the body of his Abbas. And what he finds in front of him, the Maqtal says that Abbas was surrounded by men with their swords, and they were hacking the body of Abbas. Hussein alayhi salam fought them off. فَقَطَّعُوهُ بِسُيُوفِهِمْ إِرْبًا إِرْبًا. They mutilated the body of Abbas to the extent that Abbas's arms were not just cut, but Abbas's legs were also severed from his body. The body of Abbas was in such a state that Hussein alayhi salam couldn't even lift the body of his brother in one piece. He was forced to leave him by the side of the Alqamah. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Ya Allah, for the sake of Bab al-Hawa'ij, Qabr Bani Hashim, Ya Allah, forgive our sins. Ya Allah, forgive the sins of our parents. Ya Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa'ah. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Ya Allah, there are those that are suffering from difficulties and sorrows within their life. There are those that have brought their hajat with them to this majlis. For the sake of Abul Fadl al-Abbas, the moon of Bani Hashim. Ya Allah, those that have sorrows in their life, those that have difficulties in their life, those that have brought hajat, remove their difficulties, dispel their sorrows and fulfill their hajat on this night. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to go on the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah this year and every year. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to go to Hajj and Umrah this year and every year. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadreen, his true waiters for the acceptance of these du'as and any other du'as that you brothers and sisters have brought. Please recite 3 of your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together, السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا تسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان الأمان الأمان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. اللهم كن لوليك صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل وليا وحافظا وغائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توءا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.